Alright, hello once again. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and I've been going over the case study FishCreek Animal Hospital from our textbook Web Development and Design Foundations with HTML, 8th edition by Terry Felke-Morris. And in the last chapter, Chapter 4, which is the last chapter we did, we made some changes, so now our site kind of looks like this. Okay, we still haven't done the contact page. That's yet to come. But in this chapter, we want to display a two-column page layout. Okay? So as it says, we will modify the external style sheet and the home page, the services page, and the Ask the Vet page. All right, so that's what we have to do in here. So when we get done, this is, I believe, our home page is going to look like this. You see the two columns. So we're taking basically the navigation that we had along the top here. We're getting rid of the fish that we had there, and we're putting it this along the side. All right. So the new FishCreek two-column homepage. So the first thing we're supposed to do is open up our CSS file, configure the universal selector with box sizing, border box declaration. So I'll grab that, come into our CSS file, and I actually like to, anytime you've got anything with the asterisk, I like to put it at the very top. Which means this is supposed to affect everything. All right, well, so that's the first thing we want to do. Configure gradientblue.jpg as the background image for the body element selector. Well, I've got to find that first. So let me go out and grab it. Well, we've got big fish here in gradient blue, so, and I don't know if I'll need that background JPEG on here or not, but I've got these two. So, I'm going to continue onward and upward. I'm going to put those both into my images folder. I should mention that I'm taping this in my office. I don't normally do this, but I'm trying to get ahead a little bit, so if I have to turn anything off quickly, that would be why. So configure gradientblue.jpg as the background image. All right, for the body element selector. See whether or not that even worked. Oops. Yeah, it doesn't look like it did diddly. So maybe I put the wrong syntax in there. I know you can do it without having to put in the double quotes. But background image URL. So I did do it right there. So images. Let me make sure that that was what it was called, was gradient blue. gradientblue.jpg, that's it right there. I don't see anything that looks different, but I'm going to paste that in anyway. There we go. Save. Run. I don't want to run that. I want to run my home page again. Still don't see anything that looks any different here. We'll just keep going onward and upward and see what happens. Modify the wrapper, configure a white background and a dark blue text area for this color, or for this area rather. So for wrapper, we should see an immediate effect on here because much of the stuff is in the wrapper. I'm not seeing any effect. Chapter 6. Make sure I'm changing the right one. Chapter 6. Chapter 6. Chapter 6. Chapter 6. This is FishCreek. Okay. Don't know why, but it's not really showing me any changes here. I don't know why. Well, that might be why there. I didn't save my index. Still don't see where this looks any different. Okay, I am seeing a different color here, and I think that was the area that it was in. So let's just keep going on. Configure the header element selector. Change the background color. So this is for the H1. The text color is now supposed to be white. And the background color is supposed to be this dark shade of blue. Well, let's see. I'm not really seeing a lot of change in here. Remove the font family style declaration. I think I'm still in the header. In tasks 3, 4, and 5, you will edit the HTML and replace the FishCreek logo with the image of the text. In this step, you will configure the big fish as the background image in center. So it's going to look different as we go on, in other words. So modify the H1 again, add style declarations as shown here. So I'm still inside of the H1. So I want the font size to be 3M. 10 pixels of padding, it looks like, all the way around. A line height of 150%. And a text shadow that's gray. All right, again, we may not be seeing a lot of changes on the actual thing itself because we'll see more when we start to get rid of these images and stuff that are in here. So please bear with me. Configure the left column area. Add new style declarations for the nav to configure an area that floats to the left and is 150 pixels wide. Remove the style declaration for the text align property. So we want to float left and we want a width of 150 pixels for our nav area. Float left width 150 pixels. And again, as we're doing this, you may or may not see changes. Okay? We will, hopefully, in just a couple minutes. You will organize the navigation hyperlinks into an unordered list in later tasks. The navigation area does not show the list markers. Code a nav UL descendant to configure an unordered list to display without list markers. And I forgot what that is. List style type none. Okay. Configure the navigation anchor tags to display without any underlines. So on step 8. And that would be a text decoration none. Configure the link visited in hover and use the classes that are shown, or the okay, I'll just grab all that. For example. Okay. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in there 3 times. All right, so there's the first one. The second one should be visited. And that should have this color. And the third one should be hover. And it should have this color. Okay, I can now get rid of all of this. There we go. Configure the right column area. Add a new style rule for the main elements selector to configure an area with 180 pixels with all this stuff. All right, so this will be a main element area. Let's put it down here. So margin left, 180 pixels. Padding right of 20 pixels. And padding bottom also of 20 pixels. That's in our main area. Change the background color configured for the category class to white. Add the following CSS to be compatible with older browsers. So we'll put that up at the top. Even before our universal selector. And that says that if we use any header, nav, footer, main, display them as block, and that will work for older browsers to basically just say they have a line before and after them. So if there's any kind of confusion. All right, so we've got all that done. We've got a lot done already. Add the following HTML5 shim to the head section. After the link element. Oops, Z. Copy. There we go. Again, that just says if you're using IE and it's a version before 9, basically just disregard any tags that you don't understand. Configure the H1 element. Replace, well, that's been configured already. Replace the image tag with the text FishCreek Animal Hospital. So we're kind of going back to the way it used to be in our H1. Rework the navigation area. Remove any non-breaking spaces that may be present. Replace the images with text links. Then code in, well, let's do these in order. So let's remove first any non-breaking spaces that we have in the navigation area. They're going. Okay. Replace the fish image links with text links. Okay, so rework the navigation area. We remove the non-breaking space. Now I want to replace all the image links that are in the navigation with just text links. So in other words, we want it to look like this. For instance, that'll be home again. be services. This will be Ask the Vet. And the last one will be Contact. All right, so we're making, again, we're kind of going backwards from, to go back to the way we used to be. Then code an unordered list to organize the navigation hyperlinks. Each hyperlink should be contained within LI tags. So I think it's saying put all of this in an unordered list. Since we've got our beginning tag, let's put in our ending tag. And each one of these should be inside of their own LI. Okay. If I did anything wrong, we're going to know very quickly. So we rework that, remove the nav element and the navigation hyperlinks from the footer area. Save the index.html file. It should look similar now when we run it to figure 654. And 654 was right here, so we'll see. We made lots of changes. And to me, it doesn't really look anything like it's supposed to. So, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to thinking of a new way to do this that wouldn't be as intrusive. So, all right, there it is. And according to our book, it's supposed to look like this. And mine is looking like this. So you can see there's a lot of problems here. What I think I'm going to do is pause the video, go back and see if I can fix it. After I hopefully get it fixed, then come back and tell you everything I did in order to fix it. So I'll be back with that in just a minute. All right, I'm back. Try to show you quickly the changes I made. In a bunch of the CSS here for the colors, I had 2 pound signs, which goofed that up. So that was one of the major things. I had taken some of the stuff that we were told to put into the header area, and I never created a header area. Instead, I put the stuff within the H1. All right. I think that was the majority of the stuff that I changed. I went back and looked at everything. Also in the footer, I did not add the padding and the margin left. So now when you look at this, it looks like this, and according to our book, it's supposed to look like this, and mine looks like this. So let's see. I've got this, I've got this. That should be moved over, and it's not, so I'll have to check on that to see why that's not. And FishCreek Animal Hospital, I don't have the image in there anymore. I guess I was supposed to leave the image too. I don't know. But I should be able to move this over And once I've moved it over, this should look pretty similar, okay, other than what's at the top there. All right, so I'm going to come back, I'm going to pause again, make a couple changes, and then come back one more time. All right, well, I've made quite a few changes. I went back and redid a lot of stuff, and the only thing that appears to be wrong, so to speak, right now to me is that I don't have, so let me show you. It's supposed to look like this, and mine now looks like this. All that is correct. All of this is correct. This is correct, but I don't have the background image up here in my header, and I don't, for the life of me, I don't know why. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on. So I have modified my home page, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to modify the other two pages, the services and the Ask the Vet page. So you don't have to continually see me copying, moving stuff around, etc. I'm going to, one last time, I'm going to pause this, and then I'm going to come back and finish up. So as not to waste any more time, because I already have, but I did go back and I made all the modifications. For some reason now, when I go through and do this, I still don't have my image up here. Notice I can go home, services, Ask the Vet. They all work just fine. But for some reason, I don't know what it is, I'm not getting that image on any of these pages. And since I did it first on the home page and copied it to the other two, whatever the problem is propagating its way through. So I'm going to call this one right now, and I'm going to come back, try to figure out what the problem is, and then I'll explain it in the next lecture.